I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to and what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan. Your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour. Take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder. Work until you're prouder. And f*** all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought.
I can tell you that 7 years after Freddie Gray, that was 2015, spring, April, May. This is 2022. Communities like Sandtown, all we saw then and now in terms of investment was a renovated Western District Police Station and a new funeral home. That's what West Baltimore got. A new police station and a new funeral home. What kind of optics are they? Was Freddie Gray any different than 1968 Baltimore riots? Dr. King's passing, killing, murder? This is the same?
No, it wasn't. I think, well, first of all, people who are being violent and burning, that's, all that's the same. But the point is what was the cause and what were they attempting to remedy?
I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns.
I love you.
They deserve it now. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I swear to God they don't let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I won't stop till they hear me
Good morning. First name's Doni, last name's Glover. In it to win it for the long haul, baby. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Monday, September the 12th. And we've got a thing or two to discuss. First of all, do check out our websites, bemorenews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth. We are now in our 20th year as of August 9th. Woohoo. Also, we have blackusa.news, which features a number of shows from around the country, including New York, Baltimore, DC, Atlanta, and Oakland. If you would like a show, if you think you have what it takes, if you've got the right stuff, just email us and let's talk about it. Editor@blackusa.news. Many thank you to our sponsors. Okay, we're on the air. You're interrupting our broadcast. Thank you. Black people and other people around the world, just want to tell you, it's amazing. Those of us who don't know history, if you want to acknowledge a queen, then do your damn homework. And stop celebrating people who hate you. It's called Stockholm Syndrome or Patty Hearst Syndrome. Do your history. You want to talk about a queen? Go to Ethiopia. Call Queen Latifah. Call my mama. You want to tell me about a queen? Tell me about a real queen. Okay? Do your homework. Learn your history. Ethiopia got queens. Matter of fact, queens from around the world, including the one that just kicked it, bowed down to them. We don't know our history too often. We don't know that certain powers, European, split up Africa like a bag of potato chips. Everybody playing snatch pop. The only country that wasn't taken, wasn't colonized, was Ethiopia. arguably, you could say the same for Liberia, Sierra Leone. Know your history. Stop falling for the okie doke. Calling that girl Megan out her name. And then y'all gonna celebrate her. Who you trying to get points with? These people don't like you. We don't think. What else? Oh, now for baseball season, I get it. Because you might catch me in a Yankees jersey. I like the Yankees for the very thing that's going on right now with Lamar. Again, we got to know our history. Did you know that Frank Robinson, one of the most famous Orioles of all time, almost didn't play here? We forget all about Curt Flood. Curt Flood sued American League Baseball and won. And as a result, free agency came about. The NFL followed suit the following year because Curt Flood didn't want to feel like a slave. And that's exactly what Lamar is experiencing right now. They paid Joe Wacko, who got his hind parts waxed yesterday, a boatload of money, but they question paying Lamar. That's how I see it. I could be wrong. I'm sure a lot of you know contracts better than me, but we know common sense. And if they don't want to pay Lamar, I highly suggest he goes somewhere where they will. They're paying bums more money. What else I want to tell you? Oh, I started off talking about if you are not a Rave, if you know, I understand people wearing other jerseys. But you wearing a Jets jersey in Baltimore, you got to feel like real crazy. Okay, without further ado, we're going to get to the boxing ring. I don't know if I ever told you, I did a little bit of boxing up at North and Utah. It was called Operation Champ. Back in the day, met some of the greats. Good morning, Mike, Tampa Bay in the house. Sister know. She know the history. You know it. But there were some wonderful boxing instructors up there at Utah Gardens, including Coach Leon. Well, we have a gentleman right here who is no slouch, heavyweighter, Malik Titus. Malik, good morning.
How you doing? Good morning. Thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine. The pleasure's all mine. Where you from, Malik?
I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. I grew up in a Sandtown, West neighborhood.
That's where I live at now, Sandtown. We see your daddy every day, Mr. Titus.
Yeah, I'm happy. It's always a pleasure having him as a dad. You know, he always been like inspirational, as far as like, you know, just boxing and life, and just overall, just like having a good person that I have by my side, just called dad.
So, how'd you get into boxing, Malik?
Well, honestly, it was like a bond experience with my father. I was 3 years old, and like it was a boxing program called UMA Boxing Gym, and at
Marvin McDowell.
Yes, sir. And at this time, it was located on North Avenue. So we lived in the Gilmore Home Project. So like I was about 3 years old, and like me and my dad, he took me there. And, like I knew what it was, but like as I was going up the steps, I could smell like it's sweat and like this letters, like it's like a mixture of like funk. And then I hear like a jump rope, and I hear like a speed bag, and I hear like somebody hitting the bag. And like as a kid, like I don't know what's going on upstairs, but I know I gotta get up there. Like I gotta see what's going on. So like, you know, you're like a 3-year-old kid going up these steps, he's like what's going on up there? What's going on up there? And I see like, you know, people hitting the bag, you know, people jump rope, and I'm like, I just fell in love with it from there. So like I was about like 3-4 years old. And I remember like just watching the fights. They had like fights outside UMass Boxing Gym, like in the summertime, if like outside, like all the neighborhood people come and watch. And I was like so young, like I couldn't box yet. I had to be 8 years old, so I used to start crying. Like I want to box, I want to box. And he was like, you know, you gotta wait till you're 8. He's like, I was like, I don't care, I want to box now. So fast forward about like 11. At this point, I'm not really like that interested in boxing no more. I want to play football, and I was always an old weight kid. So my dad, he gave me a suggestion. Like he said, let's go to the gym, you know, and work out at the boxing gym. Like you don't gotta box, just do it. And then like that'll help you lose football. Cause I kept trying to lose weight, but you know, like this time, like we had Pop Warner, so like it was like it was like a weight limit. So I'm about like 11, like 190 weight limit, like 160, like 170. So like I'm like 11-year-old kid trying to lose 20, 30 pounds. So I ended up going to the gym at boxing gym, and at this point I'm about 11, going on 12, and I thought I'd get like the passion back for boxing again, and like it all started from me just bonding with my dad and my granddad.
So what schools did you go to, Malik?
I went to at this and now we call like in middle school. Now we call like Sandtown Winchester. But at that point it called Georgie Calson at that point. So I always grew up. I always went to like schools in the neighborhood. But first, like graduated, I went to like Garrison Middle School for 8th grade. I graduated there, and I graduated high school at Forest Park High School. Additionally, I went to like University of Maryland Eastern Shore for a year, and I went to like CCBC. And I thought, and I was like, college not really for me. And it's like I thought it's like it was more like a shift where like, should I like pursue boxing or should I pursue education? And like even like some people say you should pursue both, but I kind of I wanted to like take the boxing route. Cause I just saw like felt like where I was going at in life, I feel like boxing would be more beneficial to me at the moment.
You know, you can always go to school.
Yes, sir.
In fact, I'm about to take a class now. It's not, school, that's a lifelong journey depending on what you're focused on. So I want to go back to elementary school. You mentioned George G. Kelson. You mentioned Sandtown.
Yes, sir.
And there's no way I can't at least tell people a little bit about George Kelson.
Okay.
Now, years ago, probably, I guess, before you were born, around on Calhoun Street in the 1300 block, there was a funeral home. It's gone now. But that was the Kelson Funeral Home. You still with me?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Bailey owned it at the time. But George Kelson, the man they named the school after, was a local funeral director. And that's special to me because my dad was a funeral director.
Wow.
But he employed many people in Sandtown. And so right up there at that corner, Pressman and Calhoun, you got the Odyssey across the street. That's a whole little community right there, Pressman and Calhoun. Everybody know everybody, including your dad. Your dad is a fixture in this community, but so was Mr. Kelson. And those were the days when we did a better job, I think, looking out for each other. So big ups in heaven to Mr. George Kelson. So you went to Umar. Tell me about Marvin McDowell.
Well, I met him. I guess I met him when I was like a kid. Like even like now, like I currently don't train there. Like when I started boxing, I went to Upton Boxing Gym on Avenue Market. But me and Mr. Ma, we had like a great connection. Like I always see him. Like I go to the gym sometimes and train. Or, like I just see him like around the neighborhood, and like he always been like a good person. Like where like not just in boxing, like he really been on like community development, and like as saying like people that look like me that's older than me. That's really great to me because like I see that like a lot of times like people. I'm 25. A lot of people like in my age group that's going to become successful. Their idea of like success is not living in Baltimore, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's also like a idea of like not giving back, where like their idea of like what success mean and like it's getting away from Baltimore City because they have a fear of like like especially like young like black men, they have a fear like if I become successful, if I try to come back here, I might get robbed, I might get killed, because like maybe like envy and jealousy. But with me, like I have like a different approach of it. Like I knew like growing up, a lot of kids, I knew like some kids they didn't want to sell drugs, they didn't want to like hang on the street. Like they was actually like good, good young men, but because like so much of the like the stereotypical like Baltimore inner city
peer pressure.
Yeah, peer pressure and just like overall just like I feel like a lot of like young men that's not into the street life get overlooked, and I want to like come back and reach those young men because like I know like a lot of times like people big always talk about like crime prevention, but a lot of people don't never talk about like the young men that they just want to go to school and just want to like have a good life. They still in a rough environment also. So I want to like start a malnutrition program that reaching like middle school age kids, and like this I want to use the funding I'm gonna have with boxing to fund that program. And one thing I want to do is like a lot of people might say like when they talk about community development, like why you keep on trying to develop like in the city, but I feel like you kind of like trying to beautify around it where like kids can understand like like just because I live like in a rough neighborhood, like you got probably got like crack fiends on the corner, you got drug dealers, like that don't mean like I have to like internalize that. and I want to give kids like an opportunity, like have like take like trips, weekend trips, and like I feel like me having like the fun I can get with boxing, that can actually like fund that, where I don't have to worry about like a lot of times like I was always on like community boards, like for example like with Broco Baltimore, and like I saw like, a lot of times like it was like the funding, like we need donations, but like sometimes it's kind of hard to like ask like people that live in poverty for the donations. So like what I would like to do is I would like to like when I become like a great boxer, I want to use my money that I make and fund my own vision.
Well, that's a beautiful vision, Malik.
I appreciate it.
They say Sandtown's a tough neighborhood. You think Sandtown's a tough neighborhood?
Yes, sir. Like growing up, like it was rough. I was an overweight kid. I was a shy kid. Low self esteem, and like just that alone. Like you always gonna get picked on. You always, and me being a big stature guy, it's always gonna be like you gonna get jumped. So like growing up, I remember like I was about like 12 years old when I started like really like getting serious and like the box, like going like every day. And I remember like how safe I felt going to the boxing gym and just being there for like a couple hours. Like I felt more safer there than sometimes I did home. Where it's like and not saying like I didn't have a good upbringing at home or anything like that, but it's just like a safetyness of like just the gym. Where it's like you go outside your neighborhood, I got to worry about somebody trying to jump me. I want like, but it's more like even going to school, you got to worry about somebody trying to pick on you. But like just like the safety of boxing, where it's like, like let's say you get into like a sparring match or something. At least it's a one-on-one person. You're not getting jumped. You don't got worry no weapons going on. So boxing is like, it's one-on-one. If you get you get your tail whipped, at least it's like you shake your hands and then you keep it moving. But like on the street, somebody might, they might get into altercation. Somebody lose and they want to get a gun. They want to get a knife. They want to get other people. So like with boxing, it's like there's a safetyness of it. And I know it's like kind of rough talking about like a dangerous sport of boxing, but with me, it was just like always like a safety net where I could just like go to and just like relax and just and to a degree like be at peace.
I went to Lamel. We had to fight every day. I wasn't a big fella like you. I was a little fella. Yeah, West Baltimore make you fight. And they will bank you in West Baltimore.
Yeah.
But see, those are suckers because they can't fight head up. And those people that bank, you're going to see them again by themselves.
Yes, sir.
So you go from Umar. See, Umar, that's when they were on North Avenue. Do you remember when Umar was on Fulton Avenue?
Yes, that's actually when I went there. I was 3 years old and it was on Fulton Avenue. I got the streets mixed up. I went there. That's when I went to the steps and I felt I didn't know what was going up there, but I had to check and see what's going on.
You saw that big boxing ring in there.
Yes, sir.
That's what I remember on Fulton Avenue, that the boxing ring, I mean, the place wasn't that big, but the boxing ring, you can't forget that boxing ring.
Yeah.
Did you know there was a boxing ring, a boxing gym on McKean Avenue about 50 feet below North Avenue?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I wasn't aware of it.
Yeah. Some of the old heads, because everybody knows everybody, but right there in McKean Alley, that's that little, it's a little narrow street. But I used to go in there often way back when we had the Sandtown newspaper to cover some of the fighters. I think Petaway came through, did some boxing through there. Did you ever box over east, over Mac Lewis?
Well, like where I try like a sister gym, so like we go there like sometimes like every week to like train, and spar. But so it's like I definitely got like a good connection like with Coach Warren and other coaches that run the program. It's really like a really like family oriented, like community oriented gym. And that's what like I like about it, and that's one thing I like about like for example like growing up and like just seeing like positive black men trying to make a difference. Like that's what that makes one like fun even more because like even even though we don't change the whole the whole dynamic of Baltimore. Let's say like I probably don't do it in my generation, but I would like to like plant seeds where like kids can
not necessarily so. It just might happen on your generation.
I'm not saying it in like a way of saying like being discouraged, but what I meant by that was more like I would like to like plant seeds to leave my mark regardless. And eventually I would love to like something like that to change, but if it don't, I would like to plant seeds for maybe the next generation to carry on.
We need a LeBron James. Let me ask you this. Do you know Chew Smith?
No, sir. I'm sorry.
I got to connect you to your homeboy.
Okay.
Chew Smith come out of Gilmore Homes. He went on to become a Harlem Globetrotter. And now he is in charge. He's been granted the old Green Spring Middle School. He has that whole building, and he's building a community. We just had him on the show last week, but he's from Sandtown, and this is what I'm pushing to you. As long as you got the vision for what you want to see, I would like to connect you with some people who should be helping you achieve that vision. See, everybody talk about Sandtown, but nobody helps Sandtown. They come here, Malik. We call it poverty pimps. They come holding bags of money, and we think we're going to get that money in our community, but it's all a game. Floyd Mayweather. What do you think about Floyd Mayweather?
Well, I feel like he definitely really a great like dedicated boxer, and like I know like sometimes like people they might think of like the flamboyance of him, like the big houses, the big cars, but like the fighter, like I know like just like the slim margin, like how a person can get there. It's like that's like a 1 in a million chance. So like I wouldn't like necessarily judge the man like how he live his life, but I look at it for us like I know like for us like being a fighter, like that's like a 1 in a million chance a person would ever make that type of money.
Have you ever met him?
No, sir.
What?
Yeah, I went to a gym. I was in Vegas probably like about like 7 years ago, but I never actually like physically met him.
You are going to meet Floyd Mayweather. You.
Yeah, I know him. I know I'm gonna meet him eventually.
You're going to meet him sooner than you think.
Okay.
Just have your plan together.
I appreciate it.
Your daddy, I see your daddy every day. That's why we had to do this interview, because I felt guilty at some point. Every time I see him. My son boxing night. When's your next fight, by the way?
I'm fighting at September 24th at the Patapsco Arena.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Tell him about it.
Yes, sir. So, like, as a professional fighter, I'm currently 7-0 with 7 knockouts. And I want to – this is my first time actually fighting in Baltimore as a professional. And as an amateur, I never fought here in about 10 years. So, like, as an amateur, I was, like, on, like, traveling teams, like, always on national teams. So, I traveled throughout the country, like, competing in, like, various national tournaments, like winning tournaments throughout around the country. So, like, to me, like, fighting here in Baltimore next weekend is, like, special to me because, like, I wanted the people to be able to support me, like, for, like, family. And not just, like, miss my family, just, like, people that's, like, trying to get around, like, the next great professional boxer, heavyweight that's from Baltimore, that's homegrown, especially, like, in heavyweight division right now, like, it's starting to become a little bit more booming. And I want to bring this heavyweight championships back to Baltimore. And I want to give people, like, the next champion prior to Hassan Rahman. And I'm not sure how, like, what's his impact on the city, but I want to have, like, a great impact on the city. For us, like, I know, like, me becoming, like, a world champion, specifically undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, that's going to be, like, a great look for, like, just the city in general.
Malik, you already a world champion.
Appreciate you.
I mean that.
Thank you.
I know you got to do what you got to do, but who you are right now, we love that. You get out there and make all the millions, you might put Baltimore in your rearview mirror. But I don't think so. Your daddy loves this community. See, that's the difference. We have people who say they love Baltimore, but we got people who really do love Baltimore. Because people will say anything for money, and I don't see you as that kind of person. And like LeBron, I imagine you're going to have a real strong team of people around you so that you can invest wisely. And let me tell you this, Malik, you can't give people something. You got to make them work for it.
Yes, sir.
If I just gave you $1 million, would you appreciate it, or would you appreciate it more if you had to work for it?
Honestly, I appreciate it more if I had to work for it.
And you're going to hold on to it longer.
Yes, sir.
They said a wise man, they said if a wise man was getting ready to die, what would he leave his child $1 million or common sense? What do you want?
I would say, honestly, in this economy, I would say $1 million, but also common sense as well.
But if you ain't got no common sense, that $1 million is gone. But if you got common sense, you gonna get that money.
Yes, sir.
We done seen a lot of people come through Baltimore. They become rich and then they become broke. Look at the NFL. They don't talk about it, but a lot of those football players from the NFL, by 30, 35, they broke.
Yes, sadly, even shorter than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I think like a lot of times like people don't understand like the competitiveness of like just being in the NFL as it is. You know, every year is a draft. You know, and like it's a slim margin of like young men that try and take your spot every year. So like, you know, in the NFL, you know, you got like a really short window to perform, especially like getting out your rookie contract or free agent contract. You know, after that, you know, it's an exile. I was right there to take the spot. You know, that's like, you know, in boxing like that also, but like it's not the competitive. Like, you know, every year is another guy that's a star in college coming to take my spot. You know, there's always going to be the next guy in boxing that's going to take what you got. But I just know like with me, it's like it's kind of hard. Let's say a person like get out of like football or something and like 25, 26, and you try to tell these people like, you know, you got $2 million, but you got to try to survive that with your next till you die. Like that's kind of scary. You know, then somebody probably got Ferraris, they got the house, trying to look a certain way, you know, and that's very like scary. They don't know when your next paycheck gonna come because, you know, at this point.
You mean flossing and you ain't paid the gas and electric bill?
Yeah.
You got a Benz out front, but you living in an apartment.
Yeah, like with me, and I never want to have like that. I never want to go that route. So like at least like I know like with boxing, you know, it's a very like rough sport. But at least with like boxing, I know like, you know, you got guys like Mike Tyson who made money and like they kind of blew it. Sometimes they got it back. But I know with boxing, you know, it's like more
Mike
like
Tyson blew a lot of money. I looked him up short. He only got 10 mil and he made hundreds, man.
So I just know like with boxing, like it's like a little different with me because like I feel like, you know, like you're going from like 4 rounds to like 12 rounds, you know, like every fight, you know, you're getting steps up, step up, step up. So it's like, let's say you might make like 50 grand one fight, then next fight you make 200 grand. So it's like you don't know when your next paycheck won't come.
Yeah. So you gotta have other investments.
Yes, sir.
You need a lawyer. You need a good lawyer. I would highly recommend you search for a good lawyer.
Yes, sir.
And you had mentioned earlier about boxing versus going to college. I want everybody to go to college because you can handle it. And even though you got a lawyer to read your contracts, you need to read your contract too.
Yes, sir.
Because you might have a lawyer that's greasy. So you probably want 2 lawyers. You want one lawyer to do the work and another lawyer to check the work.
Yes, sir.
Because you are the business. You are the business. Your career, that's the business. So you need a lawyer, an accountant. You need an insurance person. I don't know if they got boxers insurance, but you got to have some insurance to protect you and your livelihood. And you need the banker. Oh, the banker. You need a bank. You need a bank. You need to know some bankers. Probably need several accounts. So the banker, the attorney, the insurance, and I messed that up. The banker, the accountant, the insurance, and the lawyer. Bail. They call it bail. You can call me up anytime. I'll share what I know. I want to say this about Floyd. I've seen Floyd say some things that I look at him like, wow, Floyd, did you just say that? But that's when he's, you know, being his entertainment self. Or not. But when I watch what I think I see as far as Floyd and Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, I don't know the particulars and don't want to know, but I see one man passing the ball to another man who sees one man with great talent. He sees another man with great talent. Floyd, from what I hear, is tired of the promoters making all the money. Floyd say he running them miles. He doing the heavy bag. He doing the speed bag. He spawned. Not the promoter. Plus some of the promoters real clowns. And we know about Don King and the money they used to make off of people like Tyson. Floyd ain't having that. And I love that. I love the fact that he's helping empower other people because he could be selfish. And I don't know. That's just what I see. What do you see?
Well, definitely like with Floyd, like with me, like I definitely like, you know, a lot of times like I see a guy who like he made it to the top. He might like capitalize more on his talent, could like keep giving away more of his money. So like I got like kind of like a similar mindset with that also. You know, like cause with boxing, you know, like you can break your hand, you can't fight again, you get a concussion, your career over. With boxing, like it's your body, so you never know like, when your body gonna break down. So eventually like you're gonna get older, you can't compete anymore. So with athletes, like it's like sometimes it can be like a gift and a curse, but you gotta make it a gift more than a curse. You just know like it's like a 1 in a million opportunity that you're gonna become the one that make it. And a lot of guys, you're gonna outcompete a lot of guys. Sometimes it might come down to like people liking you. Sometimes people want to invest more into you, but a lot of it's gonna come to like who you are as a person and just like what you want to put into the sport. Because for me, I know like you come undisputed. You pretty much 1-on-1. You trying to become one of a thousand some other guys who want the same opportunity, and like and other guys just want to like actually like competing and want to become a world champion. You gotta be the one that like not just become world champion, but stay there. I don't want to win a title then lose the next fight. You kind of.
That's what happened to a Sim Rockman.
Yeah, like I don't want to win it and then want to lose it again.
How do you beat a Klitschko? When I watch them Russians, the East European boxers, they seem like they train very seriously. I mean, not just the body, but mentally. I mean, I've watched Klitschko break down a cat, because especially when I see him boxing African Americans, you got to outthink that cat. What do you think about Klitschko?
Well, I feel like the brother like Vitaly Vladimir. Like with me, like I like Vladimir a little bit better. Like with me, like I got like a really good jab. Like I like fighters that got like a really great jab. Plus like heavyweights, like big guys who how to like use his distance. Want to let his right hand go. Like he might not have like a lot of like flamboyance to him, but like he get the job done. He gets like he understand like box, like even how you said like the mental part. Like he understand like what to do. And I think a lot of it comes down to like knowing who you are as a person. Like every athlete got like his limitations. Like you gotta know your weaknesses also. And I say that's somebody who kind of like understand like his weaknesses as a fighter and also his strengths and like capitalize the most of it.
What about discipline?
I think like with discipline, like I remember like with the Klitschko's, they said they grew up like in the Soviet Union. So like, in that type of environment, you pretty much like playing a sport, then you go home. Like they talked about how like they had like one pair of shoes, they play like they went to school in them pair of shoes, they play sports in them pair of shoes. Like growing up, even like in my neighborhood, like we in poverty, but ain't nobody playing like football in their shoes and their school shoes something, They got a couple pair of shoes. They got the Jordans, they got the New Balances, but with them, it was like just kind of like stupid to spend money on all this stuff. So I'm like a different, I guess like coming from like a different culture, they had a different mentality, like how money is just like overall, just like I guess a different way of life. But I feel like for us, like with discipline, like in life, me like 25, it's like a golden age for me right now. Like I'm young, but like I actually really had like life experience. Like I'm not saying like life experience, like I'm like a 40-year-old man, but like I feel like I got like enough life experience, like I can like really like talk to somebody and they can like understand where I'm coming from. Like me, like right now, understand like first I got realized that I'm a human being first, and then like also like I got SU power that I don't know about, like untapped potential that I'm still learning, and like so like sometimes like people they have like a very high expectation of me, and like for the longest I didn't understand why. But as I'm starting to like learn myself more and this like this who I'm becoming, like this I'm Malik Titus, and I'm actually having joy of like becoming Malik Titus. Understand like having a high expectation like is actually a gift, you know, because people looking up to you and they see you as a leader.
Well, let me tell you something you have gone through that Klitschko ain't go through. You ready?
Okay.
Vitaly and them ain't grow up in Sandtown. I don't know where he grew up, how he grew up, but Sandtown ain't no punk.
Nah.
You don't know if he would have survived the streets of Sandtown.
Nah.
Because Sandtown a trip sometime. I remember one time I had an 8 o'clock class up at BCCC, up Liberty Heights. I was living around on Calhoun Street. I was renting a room, going to college. Man, it was 8. It had to be like 7:20, 7:30. I was running late. I should never have signed up for no 8 o'clock class. But listen, I took my book. I left something upstairs. I lived on the 3rd floor. I took my book bag off, sat it on the step. I come back. Somebody from Sandtown stole my calculus book. I was so angry. I was like, you can't even do calculus. Why you steal my book? You don't even know where to sell the book back to. I was so mad. You've seen things in Sandtown that Klitschko probably ain't seen.
Like honestly, like with me, it's
good
like
and bad.
Yeah, like honestly, with me, like growing up in Sandtown, like it gave me like a different like outlook on the world at a young age. Where it's like I saw like people just surviving, where it's like it could be like legally and illegally, you know, like people just trying to make a way to survive. You know, what they sell like oh they selling food stamps, like people I just see people surviving like the best way they know how to. So like when a lot of people they talk about like looking down on it, like I mean I can understand to a degree, but like with me it's more like understand like where that survival coming from, just like lack of resources and like just trying to survive, and just trying to do the best they can of just making in life. And I know like a lot of people they understand like you know they outlook of the world is not going outside the neighborhood, so they're trying to make the best. They just trying to live the best they can live, and like sometimes that look different from the naked eye, but growing up in a certain neighborhood, like growing up there, you kind of can like empathize, understand certain people and their struggles. But from the outside world, it's like you know they selling drugs, they don't.
But you chose not to sell drugs.
Yes, sir. It was a decision I made at 11. Honestly, I remember like one of like pretty much my best friends. Like we cool to this day. His name Malik also, and like I was just sitting on the steps, and he lived in like Pitcher Street, and like he lived on Pitcher Street, close to the Avenue Market, and like you know where he lived at, you know like drugs were like in and out, like you know like the whole
ran there by the bricks.
Yeah, he lived there. So everybody just told him like, "Yo, I ain't selling no dope. Forget that." Cause I just saw like you know like a kids like a couple years older than us, you know like they'll play with us. Then they probably get like you know 13, 14, 15 around that age, pushing like 16. You see them on the corner, and it's like I knew like it's like a cycle to keep coming and coming. And I was just like, yeah, I don't want to do this. Like I was like, it's for me.
Say that again, Malik. 1 minute, 1 year, y'all hanging out doing what kids do, and you notice that all of a sudden they didn't hang out with y'all no more. They started gravitating to the corner.
Yeah, and I saw like a lot of times like for example, like I had a friend like he boxed when I was like 13, 14. I was 14, he was 13. And like he was like very talented, natural talented. And like he's 13 and like he like really I'm selling drugs. And I'm looking like, yo, to stay in the gym, like, you know, you got free on this. Like, I'm trying to like really like talk to him. He said, man, I gotta pay the bills. So I'm like, huh? Like, what you mean you gotta pay the bills? He said, I like, you might know what you're doing. She said, yeah, I'll pay the bills. So I'm like, you know, a kid at 13 shouldn't have to go through like trying to be the man in the house, you know.
And the parents shouldn't be helping them sell drugs.
Yeah. So I just saw like,
because it sounded like the parent had a drug habit.
I don't necessarily know they had the mother had a drug habit, but I know like it was.
I guess you're right. Not all, some just greedy.
Yeah, so like I feel like
I'm not gonna have my child selling dope.
Yeah, so I saw like a lot of times like the people say about like young black men in Baltimore, just like inner city worldwide, they like to understand if like you know some kids they gotta just grow up, they gotta be a man before they actually become a man. You know.
I know people like that.
So like, and I know like it's kind of like unfair because like once you get a felony, then like your career, your life is just pretty much going down the hill at that
But
point.
see, they think it's over already
Yeah,
because somebody wasn't there to warn them.
yes, sir.
Around there on the bricks, ain't nobody ran there with, ain't nobody ran there talking about going to college, going to work. Malik, why do a cat got to get locked up and then they come home from jail and say, yeah, I got my GED while I was locked up? Why you just don't get your GED now? Why don't you just finish school now? Because finishing school is easier than that GED. That GED ain't no chump.
I never had a GED, but I know like to me like going to school is enough, and I don't want to get I don't want to go do nothing else extra compared to like getting. I rather just go to high school. I rather just get my diploma and like then go to college. But I knew like with me like I just want to stay on a straight path. And I know like some people don't have like parents like my dad, my mom, but like we grew up poor, but still they still instill like morals and values into me. They're like
I bet your daddy would have beat your butt. He caught
yeah
you selling drugs around there,
yeah.
man. I know you bigger than him now, but
Yeah.
you wasn't always bigger than him. And he looked like he ain't taking no stuff.
Yeah, and I always knew that. So like I always knew like I can't like I pretty much can't like slip up for real because like they
You ain't gonna outslick him.
yeah like you ain't
You can't bring him no okey doke. I see your daddy. He walk these streets. He know.
yeah. So I always knew like the idea of me doing that is out the window.
So when you become rich and famous, where you gonna put this big famous gym? I know you're gonna build a gym. I know you are.
Yeah, I want to build in West Baltimore, honestly.
Yeah, because let me tell you something about Umar. Marvin need a new damn gym. Now I told him this. He was up there. He was round on Fulton. Now he up north in Utah. But Marvin said if he get a new gym, the kids might not appreciate it. But this is what I know. That might be true. But when I go to other communities, when I go to Southeast DC, they got a wreck over there, Benning Park.
Oh, Headbangers. Yeah.
Is that the name? It's called Benning Park. I don't know. That's the nickname, Headbangers Southeast.
Yeah, it's called like a Headbangers Boxing Gym. It's got like a very nice gym. It's in a recreation center. I think like Bald Eagle Recreation.
But they got lights. Their football field got lights, and it's just a rec center. Our rec centers are not like that. They haven't built new recs. Greater Model is the last recreation center I remember in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
All of these people got all of this money supposedly for our community. Where's that? So I think our kids deserve the best. Like they built that new Dorothy Heights School over there, John Eager Howard. My understanding from Coach Rodell is they don't even let the kids in the neighborhood use the school.
Oh wow.
So yeah, we need some people to bring some common sense to our community. And if you get famous, watch out for all the new friends you're gonna get. Because they ain't your friend. Okay, so this big fight, let's put the promo out there.
Yes,
it's
sir.
on the 24th
of September. We at the Patapsco Arena. The tickets you can like reach out to me at like even I'll give you like my number.
Well, hold up. Let's put your contact information out there. What you want me to put a phone number or website?
Yeah, you put my phone number and also like my Instagram also.
Okay, so let's Malik fighters. You're a heavyweight?
Yes, sir. I'm 6'5", 260.
I met Muhammad Ali right up there at Coppin State. He's one of the nicest people. He could go anywhere in the world and he ain't need no bodyguard. Wherever he went, he ain't need no bodyguard.
That's great.
Okay, I got a little sidetracked. What's the phone number?
Cool. My phone number is going to be 443-991-3966.
And IG?
It's going to be King_Leak. So like you can just type in like my full name, MALIK TITUS, and it'll pop up.
Okay, but what is it on IG? You got me started. King_Leak.
Yes, sir.
LEAK.
Yes, and you spell it with 2 G's and 2 K's.
I knew it was something. Okay. How's that? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And I should put the date on there. Let me put the date on there. September. This is next Saturday.
Yes, sir. And the tickets are $60 for general admission and $120 for VIPs, and they can reach out to me for tickets.
Might have to come out there with a press pass. You know, I'm the press. I don't pay to go nowhere. I don't pay to go nowhere,
Okay.
including the White House. I'm on my way there tomorrow, I think. Okay, September 24th, $60. Malik Titus, heavyweight. That's the phone number. You can follow him on Instagram. Before you go, I need some advice for the young people in Sandtown.
All right, that's advice I would love to give. With me, it's like just reach out to like mentors. Sometimes like kids like in my generation, like a little younger, like we kind of like in the urban, I guess like hip hop, where like it's sometimes up like killing and stuff like that. But like I just like try to reach out to like positivity, like 'cause I feel like it's actually like mentors some in a way are there, and like with me, like my dad, like he always instilled to me like like it takes like a village to raise a kid. So like growing up like school and stuff, I always knew like it's people actually just there to help me. Sometimes like we talk about like people, the teachers don't like us, or, like and in some degree it's like that kind of true. But I was always able to find like mentors like in school or like just outside in the community, outside of my household. What if it's like a sports coach or like just like a person like in the neighborhood who just trying to give me advice to stay on the right path. So like I would just like don't like stay away from like negativity. I know like sometimes that can be a little hard where it's like always in your face, but like it is like positivity there if you're actually like looking for it. Like I feel like the person look for opportunity, even like a limited environment, it's gonna be something there because like a lot of people aren't looking for opportunities. Hopefully I paraphrase that correctly.
Oh, you did just fine.
Like for example,
I'm sorry.
Like for example, I went to Forest Park High School. That's where I graduated from. Like Forest Park, like we not up there with like no poly or city, but like my junior and senior year of high school, I interned with Social Security Administration. I had like a really great college counselor, like, and we still feature this day. Her name Keisha Furran. She made sure like I got the best I can get, and at Forest Park, before I met her my sophomore year of high school, and my freshman year I never had no colleges coming up there, never took no college trips or anything. I never had no internships, but when she got there, came back there, like everything in my life just changed, as far as like me just like getting a different outlook of life. So like with me, I just want to like give kids opportunities, like get a different outlook, and people who want the opportunity, they would take it.
No, that's beautiful, bro. Because a lot of times we'll say there are no opportunities. You got to go out there and find the damn opportunities.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing coming to you, Malik.
Yeah, definitely.
And then when the opportunities come, we got to be humble enough to accept the blessings.
Yes, sir.
I want to ask you a serious question, Malik. Growing up, how many friends did you lose?
As far as like in street violence or just the streets, like I definitely lost like a couple, like kids I knew like growing up. And that's like a sad reality where it's like a lot of people like in Baltimore like it's said like I'm 25, but it's said like people like when they turn 25 they say they a young OG, and I feel like in other communities they don't really have to worry about that stress of like just losing people at like a young age compared to like how kids live in like how growing up in Baltimore they like deal with like so like be safe and like stay safe out here. Like I don't see like you grow in another community they have to really deal with that stress of like this people just dying, people just going to jail. And that's like that take a lot of like our family structure away also, where you got like young men dying and then like young men going to jail. They might have kids or that might make young men like let's say for example a guy like he go to jail at 21, get out at 35. That's a lot of years. You're trying to catch up with. Then you gotta look at if they have a child or they don't have a child. That's a lot of like stuff you gotta take into consideration. So I think like our family system that break down your family system, then it break down your economic system because you got men that's not producing at a high rate. So like, you look a lot of times like you might look at like different communities where like you got the earth man in our community, you got the white man in our community, but you got a black man selling dope in our community. So it's like it's kind of like an imbalance.
How many of your friends have fathers? I mean, everybody got a daddy.
Yeah.
But I see your daddy and everybody else see your daddy.
Yes, sir.
How
Well,
many of your friends don't have daddies?
I know like a couple like my homeboys, they grew up, they didn't have like a dad in their life. But surprisingly, like some of them actually did. You know, like and it said I got surprisingly, but like I know like my one of my closest friends, Malik, like his dad was like, you know, in his house, a two-parent household. And like so I feel like even if you go down like the wrong path, you know, you're gonna have like some type of structure to get you back on the right path compared to somebody that don't have nothing, you know.
And one other question. I asked you how many friends did you lose? How many friends are in jail?
Wow. I know like I had a friend I grew up named Alvin. Why yeah, his name was like Alvin. And since we were like 15, like Alvin been in jail more times he's been out of jail. And like he about like 25, he about like 26 now. So you look at like a 10, 11 year life span, you know, this man been in jail more than he been out of jail. And to
You
me
know,
that's
Malik, when I was 18, my mother said, you got to go. Actually, before I was 18, at 15, I was getting a memo. I was getting emails in elementary school. At 18, you have to go. I'm like, I'm a little kid. Why are you telling me? Because 18 is just around the corner. At 17 and a half, I was getting my airplane ticket to leave Baltimore to go to Atlanta. Malik, between 18 and 21, those are some of the most crucial years for a young black man in Baltimore. And for me, I highly recommend getting our young people away to college, to the military, anything, just to go see something else. Because Baltimore is like a meat grinder. If you ain't focused, you're gonna get caught up in that meat grinder. It ain't nowhere but the graveyard and the jail.
yes, sir.
Okay, so let's big up our coaches. Who were your coaches? And you know Coach Leon?
Yes, sir. Well, I don't think he coach anymore. I know he at Upton and he like a director there.
Yeah, he was coaching way back when I was a young man.
So I knew Mr. Leon since I was about 11, 12. And he always been like it's a good person.
Good man, solid man.
Yeah.
I think Dennis just passed, didn't he, Dennis?
Yeah, Coach Dennis passed.
Big ups to Coach Dennis. He was always on point. Yeah. Any final thoughts, Malik? I'm gonna give you the screen. Anything you want to say to the world?
Yes, I would like right now, you know, I'm 7-0 with 7 knockouts. I want to represent Baltimore in a way, in a positive light, and like with that, like I would need support from my community and just like, you know, sponsorships, everything help, like sponsorship, like purchasing a ticket, even like any way of shape and form, just helping me out for us, making me achieve my dreams. So once I achieve my dreams, I would achieve not just my dreams like with boxing, but just also community development also. So any way, shape, and form, I would definitely appreciate my community help.
Help is gonna find you. Do you pray?
Yes, sir.
Hey man, you keep God first, you're gonna do anything but fail. I believe that in my heart. If you keep God first, if you pray before your match, if you pray before your community development project, your college thing, your work, your business, you give God the praise, you ain't gonna fail. Hey, I want to know how much you know yourself. What does your name mean?
My name is King.
Oh, okay. I just had to check on you. Malik Titus, we're so proud of you. Now tell your daddy that I interviewed you. I just saw him yesterday. I said, we're going to interview your son tomorrow. We're proud of you, man, for representing our community.
Appreciate you, sir. Thank you for having me on. Like, that meant a lot to me. Not just like for like promoting. It just meant a lot to me. Like people looking like stuff that I'm doing, like, and not just like looking at. Let's like, for example, like me. Let's like 5 years from now, they looking at me like Malik Titus today, and they got the potential. Like I'm gonna become something special, and like that's like the main thing. Cause like, you know, a lot of
You're
times
already special.
I appreciate that.
And I have a prediction.
Okay.
I see you being a boxing announcer.
I can see that.
Because you got to do something after you box. And I see some of these people on it. There's nothing worse than seeing somebody on there I'm watching the May. Oh, no. I'm watching Tank, and this is a fight that's about a year old.
Uh-huh.
I get so sick of them announcers hating on our black boxers. This one particular fight, Tank said he was going to knock the dude out in the 8th round. But it wasn't going, it didn't seem like it was going that way. But Tank knew what he was doing. But them boxing announcers who ain't never been in the ring, oh, Tank is down. Looks like he's going to lose on points. Next thing you know, Tank hit him with that left.
I remember that fight.
Was it a left? No, I think it was an overhand right. Yeah, it was an overhand right. And it's like he got him on the temple, knocked him down,
Yes, sir.
and everything changed. But I just get so sick of those announcers who ain't never been in the boxing ring and know everything and don't know nothing.
Yes, sir.
That's why we need you as a boxing announcer after your heavyweight career. Have you ever met Lennox Lewis?
No, but I would love Lennox Lewis.
And we got to make some of these things happen, man. We got to get you some people that can connect you to these people. But get outside of Baltimore and don't forget the banker, the accountant, the insurance, and the lawyer. And you trust your daddy, trust your mama, but everybody else you got to verify. We got to run credit checks on everybody come around.
I got you, brother.
My man, Malik Titus, thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
Yes, sir. We appreciate it. My name's Donnie Glover. Do check out our websites, bemorenews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth. Next up is Mr. William Honolulu at 10 o'clock. We had Michael Haney earlier this morning with Wake Up Baltimore. Troy Rollins coming in at noon live from Los Angeles. And we have shows tonight. This is a busy night, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and 8 o'clock. 6 o'clock, you got Frontline News with Yolanda Bully. Then you got, Yolanda Pulley. And her whole cast of compadres, including Jason Rodriguez and Miss Tabron. 7 o'clock, we have Chap Davis and Quita Chancey. They are our longest running show. They've been here since, I want to say January 2021. So they're going in a couple of years now. And then one of our new shows, Mr. Robert Washington with the Robert Report. My name's Donnie Glover. Good morning, world.